morning, everyone. So good to see you. A lot of good energy in these Zoom room today. And welcome to the church in Ocean Park. And today we're thinking about the equinox and wellness and all kinds of good things. I can't wait to hear our speaker. Very excited about it. So I'm Dr. Kim Harris, and I know mostly everybody, but there might be some people here that I don't quite know. But it's so good to see everybody. And we're going to start off with some singing as always. So please, everyone, just take a good stretch. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Woo. And a song, the melody you will recognize, the words were put together by Charlie King and some other good friends of mine that as a group called themselves Bright Morning Star. And here it is. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. See the sun, how bright it shines on the nations of the earth. All who share this thing called life celebrate each day's rebirth. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Brother wind, we've heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the windmills in reply echo back their glad refrain. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Sister River, can you hear how the valleys call you down? Bend your rushing waters near, make the joyful hills resound. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Now, I know it's tough because we can't all sing together where we can hear each other, but this is also a good time to try out any harmonies you would like to try. How we love complexity when the answer's rather plain. Join the sun in jubilee. Sing with us this loud refrain. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Sing the chorus one more time. Let me see you. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Welcome welcome to the church in Ocean Park. And we've got a wonderful welcome today from Andre. Yes.
Hi, my name is Andre. I'm a member of the church in Ocean Park. I'm here to welcome you to this unique interfaith community that is dedicated to social justice. You may be wondering if you are welcome here. We are interfaith, so you're welcome if you're Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, atheist, or some combination of all that. You're welcome if you're single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, very rich, or living on the edge. We welcome those who are fidgety, very focused, just woke up, or just got out of jail. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been in church since your nephew's baptism. We welcome people of all ages and abilities. We welcome soccer mums, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegans, junk food eaters. You're all welcome if you're in recovery or still addicted, and if you're having problems or you're down in the dumps. We welcome those who like organized religion and those who don't. You're welcome if you work too hard, don't work, can't spell, or if you're here because you heard that this is a strange church. You're welcome if you're inked, pierced, or both. We will offer a special welcome to those who could use a prayer right now or had religion shoved down your throat as a kid. You're welcome if you're a tourist, a seeker, or a doubter, or all of those. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Thank you, Andre, so much. Good to see you again. Hi, I'm Louise, and I am going to lead us in a centering chant to bring us here, to bring our attention to the present moment, the here and now, which is a fantastic place to be. So, the words are, I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now, and we'll sing that 3 times. It's a chant by Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now.
Good morning. My name is Janet Gallery McKithen, and I'm the minister here at the church in Ocean Park. I also welcome you this morning to the church in Ocean Park. We are diverse, so you may hear something this morning that you disagree with. I mean, I sort of doubt it, but you might. If you do, just know that your voice is just as important as whoever it is that just spoke. There will be a time of community sharing where you'll get a chance to share briefly, and so will anybody else. So there may be something somebody says that you disagree with, but just know that your voice is just as important as whoever just spoke. We begin by acknowledging the origin of our celebration in Santa Monica. It takes place on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Quiche, the Chumash, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge and regret the violent ripping away of their land and their lives. We pay our respects to elders, both past and present, and to the stewarding of their land throughout the generations. And we pledge ourselves to respect and honor the earth, our mother, through our celebration today and our lives. This morning, we are celebrating the equinox. And so we are beginning with the honoring of the directions. And so I don't know if you know where the east is in your location, but if you do, if you would turn to the east, far winds blow clean and clear, sweep through the skies and be with us here. And you can repeat this after I say it. We give you thanks for being here. We give you thanks for being here. Now turn to the south. Blessed sun and lands of warmth, give comfort, brightness, and strength, and be with us here. We give you thanks for being here. We give you thanks for being here. I turn to the west. Oceans, lakes, and streams wash clear and bright and fresh and be with us here. We give you thanks for being here. We give you thanks for being here. And to the north, mountains, meadows, and forests bring forth life, richness, and beauty, and be with us here. We give you thanks for being here. We give you thanks for being here. To open the circle by the earth that is her body, by the air that is her sweet breath, by the fire of her bright spirit and the water of her living womb. Our circle is cast, and we are between the worlds. What happens between the worlds changes the world. Jane Gasca.
So I am sharing my screen now. Can y'all see the sun tracking across the sky there? All right. Let me see if I can get this to move. Really slowly. So what I wanted to do, because we've done a lot of these celebrations, both in women's group and also in church, is I wanted to find out more how the ancients knew when the equinox occurred, when the solstices occur. I'm fascinated by how people many thousands of years ago knew how to find these days. So they use the sun as kind of a calendar, tracking the path across the sky. And this diagram is a little confusing, but if you can see my cursor, this path right here is the path of the sun on the summer solstice. There's a little person standing right in the middle. This is north, to the right is south, coming toward us is west, and going away from us is east. So this little person is seeing the sun's path a little further south during both equinoxes, and then the sun's path is even further south on winter solstice. I didn't notice these patterns until I moved into our current house, our current rental house, because the yard is such that I can actually see where the sun is better in our yard. So ancient people tracked the sun, and they were able to predict the seasons and the weather for agriculture, track the time passing in years. They started counting years, know when to conduct ceremonies that would repeat over time, plan when to meet at a future specified time. How could you say, let's meet in November, 3,000 years ago? So, and then know when the equinoxes and the solstices were. And of course, equinox means equal hours of light and dark in 24 hours. So I'm gonna talk about 3 sites where ancient people watched the sun and either built a monument or used the natural structures at that place. So Machu Picchu in Peru is the transcendent city of the Incas. It's perched atop a mountain overlooking the Urubamba Valley in Peru. The cool thing about this is there's a giant stone at the top of the mountain, and it's called Intihuatana, the place where the sun gets tied. So the stone was positioned exactly with its 4 corners at north, south, and east, west. And exactly at noon on either of the 2 equinoxes during the year, the sun would shine on that stone. I think there was, hang on a second. Oh yeah, so the other fun thing about that is that there was a shadow the rest of the year, but because the sun was directly overhead on that one day, there was no shadow from the stone. So they knew that it was the equinox, either the fall or the spring equinox. So moving on to Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, having a little trouble with scrolling here. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, so the ancestral Puebloan people built structures with their windows aligned with sunlight or moonlight on the equinox or the solstice. And you can see this is during the fall equinox. There's a window here and there's a window on the other side, and you can see the sun coming through. Now this, I love this picture. They also carved spiral designs in rock to record the passage of time. This petroglyph is called the sun dagger because of the wedge shape of it. It strikes in midday during the summer and winter solstices. And I know today is the equinox, but I had to put this one in because I just love the picture. And what I forgot to tell you was that Machu Picchu was built around 2500 BC. That's 4,000 years ago. And Chaco Canyon, the carvings were about 1000 AD. So this is something I did not know about the Sphinx and the Pyramid of Khafre. On the equinoxes, you get at sunset, if you're a little bit to the right here and facing straight toward the Sphinx, the sun seems to set on the right-hand shoulder of the Sphinx. And the sun will also sit at the bottom corner of this Pyramid of Khafre, right at the moment of equinox. So that's pretty thrilling. So what I wanted to say today was that, the ancients spent time appreciating nature. They lived much closer to the land than we do. And the way that we stay connected to the land is by doing rituals like this one that we're doing today. And we don't live as close to the land, but marking these astronomical events helps us to see the rhythm in our year as the days move from light to dark and from dark to light. Thanks.
Thank you, Jean. Okay, I'd like to sing a song now and have you join me at home. I'm putting the lyrics in the chat so you can see them. And this is one of my favorite gratitude songs. You hear a lot about gratitude these days. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Can we say that again? Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. And I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you for my suffering and the wholeness that it brings. Thank you for the trees in the spring, for their budding and flowering. Thank you for my frustration, for succumbing to temptation, for my growth and the lack thereof that lets me know I'm made of love. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me, and I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you for my range of feelings, for the unexpected healings, for my process of growth, for love and hate I learned from both. Thank you for the lessons I'm mending, for the power of surrendering, for boredom and waiting to be free. Thank you for creating this for me. Thank you for my life. and I can hardly believe the beauty I see.
Thank you for that beautiful song, Louise. So much is going on that can drag us down, but that kind of song could really lift us up. And, you know, all of us have going through things that can drag us down. And if we just turn on the news, we're brought down. And if we trying to make a difference in the world, it can be brought down, and so much can drag us down. This morning, you're invited to be uplifted and motivated. Chantalynn is a wholeness wellness practitioner, a community builder, a busy mompreneur who is consciously raising her 16-year-old son. Some of us have met him. Living a holistic lifestyle of wellness in every direction. She's an activist for Best Friend Big Sister Fran Drescher's nonprofit Cancer Schmancer. She's a former president of the Santa Monica chapter of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. Some of you remember that Chantalynn was our last speaker as we gathered in person before the shutdown. She was our very last speaker. When Chantalynn was with us in the before times, she shared her journey to America as a refugee, Vietnamese refugee in 1977, one of the thousands of boat people, so-called boat people. And she's gone through other very tough times as well. What I'm saying is she's not naive to suffering. She's not naive to pain, but she realizes the beauty of life in the midst of real time. She's inspired by the magical world, and she exudes that magic too. So we welcome back our friend Chantalynn.
Thank you so much, Reverend Janet, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm honored again to be speaking here, and I want to say, Jean, thank you for all the, the historical sites. I actually have been to Machu Picchu, and it is magical over there. And Louise, I love your song. It brought me to tears because I am very thankful for my life, and I'm so emotional. Today I woke up and I'm feeling gratitude is everything, because the longer you live on this planet, you are going to go through things, life, trauma, pain, and no one is stranger to pain and suffering. We go through that, and I love your song when it says, you welcome those moments, because it is here, not happening to us, but really happening for us. It has a message, it has the healing. And I love the verse, the lyrics about unexpected healings. That's what I've experienced my whole life. My mom and I, like Reverend Janet said, we escaped out of Vietnam when I was 9, turning 10. We were one of the boat people, seeking freedom, risking everything, leaving everything behind. So I would say my whole life, I've been kind of trained to be in COVID, because it's all about uncertainty. You never know what tomorrow brings. And out of that journey of pain and suffering and learning, growing, healing, expanding, I learned to embrace it all, because that's the point. To really take a look at what are my choices and options, because I can only see what's in front of me. And I feel like this is something, it's a blessing and a curse. Obviously I didn't want all the pain and suffering, but there it was. And I feel immense gratitude that I got the download to use it to help me to become who I am. And, I will go far back, as far as like the Vietnam War. Everybody say how horrible it was. And I, for one, actually, it's controversial, but I believe it was meant to happen, because if it didn't happen, we all just stay in our little country, in a little corner of the world, and we wouldn't learn about the rest of the world. And because of the war, we were forced to flee and fled and learn and grow and bring all the knowledge from around the world back home and elevate the Vietnamese culture today. We have so many wonderful artists and creative people who were allowed to flourish in the land of freedom, in the West, where we got to learn education and bring it all back. So out of all that pain and suffering, our country is doing really well. It's still, quote unquote, third world country, and it's still again, quote unquote, under communism, but we're very much free enterprise. And next year, I am planning to take a little pilgrimage voyage with my mom and my son and documenting as a 3-generation. It's going to be a very emotional and healing trip for us. And I'm very excited about that. I'm also, during COVID, I signed up to write my memoir. Not that I have the worst story in the world at all, but I feel like what I'm going through as a woman, it's a woman's story. What I'm going through as a refugee, which is a completely global issue at the moment. And again, what I connect with all of my experiences is, how do I maximize and optimize everything that I've learned, everything that's happened to me? If I took the perspective that everything is a gift, from divine orchestration, that I'm supposed to have all these experiences, how do I learn, grow, and heal and use it? And I learned the healing is unexpected. And a lot of healers would tell you that they come from such trauma. It's part of being, most healers are wounded healers, because we had to develop compassion for the people we're going to help heal, or the people who we aid in their healing. We kind of get to say, I know what you're going through. I'm right here for you. I'm holding your hand and I'm supporting you. And that is so important. And I also learned to, how to be from a place of empowerment. We can't sit here and wait for everyone else to do what we need them to do. It doesn't matter who's in power, who's the president today. We all have our work to do. And I say that all the time, because each and every one of us have that power and that magic in us that we need to live and express in the way that we take great care of ourselves through health and wellness. We take care of ourselves, by taking care of our family, our community here. And that's how we affect the world in a positive way. And I love the fall equinox in that equal night, equal day. So as much as our human nature put us through the whole emphasis on the suffering and pain, we need to also exercise the muscle to find what is the gold, what is the gift in all of that. And it's a muscle. You have to exercise. It's so easy for our human nature to go and say, oh, it's a horrible day. I had my flat tire. And, you focus on all of that. And if you just have the awareness of, say, okay, let's vent, let's have those emotions. I'm frustrated, I'm upset, I'm angry. And, you ask yourself, how long do you want to sit in there? There is also a whole other side of the world. And I think the challenge in the beginning, when we're like, okay, well, what's good about this? What's good about this day? It might be a challenge in the beginning, but, as everything else, it takes practice. It gets easier with time. And, all the pain and suffering helped me to be who I am today. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I know that's really hard to say for a lot of people. I'm blessed that I didn't have the worst history, the worst story. And I want to use what I have to share, because I think in community is when we get stronger, and it helps. It helps us all. So I want to make sure that I'm helping people to look at what is magical right now in this moment in your life. And it could be as simple as us here, breathing, singing, being together, being alive, and getting out of bed is a blessing for a lot of people. I have friends who can't get out of bed. I have people who are sick, and we've all lost someone this last 2 years has been harder than most. It's a time for celebration. Just as much as there is darkness, there is also so much light, and it exists whether or not we know it. One of my favorite quotes that I heard from Marianne Williamson is, miracles are natural occurrences. So whether or not we see them, they're still existing. So I want to be on that path to look for those. And I earlier in the group, I was talking about this magic practice that I'm doing that Reverend Janet loved. It's called The Magic, by the same author as The Secret. And it's 28 days of practicing gratitude, because gratitude is the biggest tool in law of attraction, in magnetizing in all that you love and desire and are experiencing, giving thanks to every little thing. And for me, it's beyond the 28 days. It's my way of life. because, you know, I am always about, well, how do I, it's not about not falling. As I say, you know, we're going to get hurt in life. It's not about not falling down. It's about how do we get back up? How do we shorten the recovery time? How do we heal and move on and get stronger? I also love the art. One of the things I always talk about, whether it's relationship or health, the art of kintsugi, which is a Japanese art where, you know, you have a ceramic item and you broke it and you think, okay, this is nothing. This is now ugly and terrible. But the Japanese found a way to seal in all the cracks with gold. And it made the piece even more beautiful than ever. So I feel like all of us, throughout our pain and suffering, if we don't let it rule us, we become better, more resilient, more magical. And so I want to take the fall equinox to be a time of celebrating all that is also going well, and not to dismiss or minimize our pain and suffering because they're real, but to say, how do we use that for our advantage? How do we, despite all of that, show up with love for our life, love for ourselves, love for everyone? And what would love do is a guidance for me. Like, you know, even in time of conflict, in time of suffering and pain, I ask myself, well, what are my options? What's the most loving thing I can do for myself so I can give from a full cup, and how I can serve others, because we feel good to be of service. So I'm honored to be here and share my story. If you have any questions about any of the things I'm doing or want to be part of the group, and I can gift everybody a PDF of this book if you don't already have a copy, just please reach out to me. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, just by my first name, Chantalynn. And I want to thank you, my two girlfriends who are here, Jamila and Marie, for always supporting me. You know, community is everything. It's how you get to feel loved, supported, heard, felt, heal, expand, growth. And I'm dedicated to that to the day I die. And again, Reverend Janet, such deep gratitude for you and your team. Louise, thank you for your gift of songs. It touches me. Jean, for everything. And Andre, for your welcoming message. Dr. Kim Harris, your leadership team is amazing, and I'm so honored that you all chose to have me back. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, so uplifting to listen to you. Thank you so much. I want to do a song now. Learned it from Harry Belafonte, that wonderful man. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come
beautiful. One of my favorite songs. I say that a lot though, when Louise is singing and Dr. Kim. So thank you all. Thank you, Thank you, Chantalynn. Amazing. We needed an uplifting message and you brought it, and thank you so much. Some of you know who were with us last week, sometimes we have like very real, we have a variety of messages that and that's what life is all about. It's a variety of messages, because life is not one thing. Completely, we needed, I believe that this was something that was beneficial to me, and I hope to you as well. One of the things that brought out to me is I started immediately thinking about this really hard time in my life, where at the moment I wasn't grateful, but actually later I was. And now I am, because I can understand people who are going through something like that, and like you said, I wouldn't wish it. I didn't want to be there. I would hope I would never be there. I hope nobody else has to be there. But when you, I think sometimes your gratitude may come later. And it also, but I am so grateful for this community, and I'm grateful I woke up this morning. I'm grateful to see all of you here. So I really think gratitude is an amazing, magical thing. So this is a time for community sharing, which is what I just did as a part of the community. And you can make a statement like that, or any other way is that you'd like to, or you could ask Chantalynn a question, or Jean a question, or Andre, anybody who has spoken, you could ask them a question or make a comment. It's brief though, it's not about your whole life. So, okay, Craig.
Yes, thank you. As I'm hearing you, I am reminded of the trauma that not just you, but your people have gone through with the bombing and the ravages of war. And, the trauma upon, entire villages. And that has not stopped since you've been here. In fact, we've recently seen people arrive only to be met with hostility, not just for those that are arriving, but for people who want to support them. So I'm wondering if there's something that you do, consistent with what it is you say about, bringing in the love and the positivity, as well as so you can remain focused and shift off that hostility and be more functional in terms of loving and spreading, that healing process, for those that have been traumatized.
You want to answer that? You want to?
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure he was complete. Thank you for sharing, Craig. Love your questions. I think when I came in person, I think you were there. You asked some really great questions. Thank you. I believe in, we all need support. So if you're going through some kind of trauma, definitely you have to look in your immediate community and see who can be there for you. There's definitely support groups. Hello? There's definitely support groups. And as far as what I'm doing, I can only do my best in showing up for myself, being a good parent, showing my son what my life is all about, where I came from. And I can be showing up for my family, showing them, the way, my community. We have a huge Vietnamese community down in Little Saigon. I'm very involved in that community as far as like, how do we bring about the healing, the trauma, and, doing what I can. Obviously, I'm not as trained or specialized in helping people with, the Vietnam War veterans and all of that. But I know there are resources for that. And I wish there's more, obviously, because, I think our veterans need so much more love and support. I'm doing what I can. And what I do is go out and build community to talk about, hey, how to be a good citizen of the world. And sometimes I feel humanity is lifted up by each and every one of us doing our own work. And when someone needs help, to go and help them in any way that we can. My powers are limited, but I'm using what I have and I'm offering it up to my community.
Yeah, because we all need to know that, right? I work in gardens, so yeah.
I mean,
So it's a concern.
okay, Jean Gasca.
With the war in Ukraine right now, there are so many families fleeing, and I find myself thinking over and over again how the children feel fleeing away from their home and taking just a few things with them. And I wonder if you would tell us just a few details about what it was like fleeing from your country and how you did it.
Thank you for asking, Jean. I was 9 when we fled, and we made many attempts. Back then, the government allowed people who had any kind of Chinese blood in them to go back to China. So under the guise of going back to our homeland, even though you were born and raised there as a Vietnamese. So my mother and I had attempted 4 or 5 times before we were successful. And we would make
All the way here just
fake
from there. I mean,
fake papers to say that we were Chinese, so we were allowed to.
then you're hungry.
And so on the last attempt, we left in the middle of the night. We were so superstitious. I remember we had a dog, and we would say goodbye to the dog all this time, and then we would come back. And the last time, my mom said, "We're not going to tell the dog because maybe he's the one who pulled us back," because my mom was very superstitious. So I remember in the middle of the night, we left. We didn't pack anything except the clothes on our back and whatever money we can gather, together. And we tell the dog, "Go home. We're going to come back soon." And then the dog went home. So that was our successful trip. So I'm sure my mom believed that too. And as a child, you don't, like I said, we lived in uncertainty because when I was living, we lived 2.5 years under the communist regime. There were search and seizure that happens every night in the neighborhood. You never know who's going to knock on the door. You never know who's going to be missing the next day or taken away. And if you ask too many questions, that would be signs of treason. And so you don't ask questions. They keep us all isolated, disconnected. And so my mom was very capable of doing whatever she could to pay a lot of gold to get passage on the boat to escape. And we escaped November of 77. And that was a time where the waters were very turbulent. So the government is like less security. They're like, if you are crazy enough to attempt it, have at it. And so we had to take a bus to go to a far away coastal town to board the boat. And so yes, I lived in uncertainty. The only thing I knew was my mother, so I clung to her as much as I could. And then my story, when I landed in Malaysia, we got separated. Half the people on the boat did die, did drown. I thought I was drowning. No one was coming. It was really hard. And again, talk about uncertainty. Didn't know you're going to live. So I had to surrender as a 10-year-old thinking, no one's coming. This is it. Water's going to fill my lungs and I'm going to die. And I was saved by a Malaysian village fisherman. And I am writing him in my memoir as my earth angel. I wasn't meant to go. I used to say this, when I used to tell the story, I think when my son was with me, when I told the story at church, I used to say, "Oh, I wasn't meant to be here." And he goes, "Don't ever say that. You were meant to be here, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here." And that also helped me in my journey of knowing that everything is happening for you. Try my best to make some sense out of it. And like Reverend Janet say, the gratitude doesn't come easily and right away. It is an exercise. And sometimes it takes time to understand, why did that happen?
Did your mother make it?
Yes, my mom and I, the Malaysian village fisherman grabbed me by the ankle and yanked me up and down to get the water out of me. And I saw my mom running, looking for me along the water's edge. So the moment he put me down, I ran straight to her, never saw him again. So yes, we are still really close. She helped to pay my publisher for my memoir. So I'm paid in full. I just need to write it.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Chantalynn. Craig or Claudia or Kevin or Daria, whoever that is.
You're okay.
Hi, it's Claudia.
And we had something happen in the last 12 to 24 hours that really brings to life what this service has been about. I have been very, very, very sick. And in about 4 weeks ago, we were researching assisted suicide. And I had come into my house, or what came into my house were two amazing women who were Filipino, and they nursed me to health. And it's definitely their know-how, but their kindness, and something that I haven't been able to get until now. Well, we found out last night that the agency that was bringing them to our house, I feel I'm going to start crying, was paying them slave wages. And the money we were paying into it, the agency was taking 70% and only giving them 30%. And they were scared to tell me, us, because we're those rich white people. All I can say is I can't tell you how we've all been in a circle crying with each other. We feel awful they've been paid slave wages. Anyway, we're going to make it up to them. We figured out how they can stay on. And we all feel like we came together in a way and that you might not have expected, and we're all saying that it gives us hope for the future, for the world. I mean, not just us, but the world, because we were in our little area able to transcend this.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Claudia. And thank you for doing that as well. All right. Thank you all for sharing, and for, I think, I know myself, I'll go through the rest of my day and my week being grateful and looking for gratitude, and seeing more gratitude in the world than I did before. So I thank you all so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I think fall is such a great time to go inward, just to look inside ourselves for the magic and power that we all are. Because sometimes, in that silence is where you see everything and feel everything and see your magic. We're so busy doing and expressing outwardly. And I'm a very social person, being a community builder. I love being around my people. I do need that time, and I feel like fall is such a beautiful time to go inward and be with ourselves, and also to congratulate ourselves for making it thus far, and for all that we do and continue to do. So thank you for letting me share. Thank you for sharing your precious Sunday with me. I woke up feeling excited and emotional, and I'm so thrilled and I'm so grateful. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so, so much. Everyone just take a breath. I know I can't even. Oh, yes. Whew. I'm not even going to try to sing. I'm actually going to play a song for you that Reggie and I recorded with the group Magpie. And I love this song. I can't sing it for you. Well, I could sing it for you, but we have a wonderful recording of 4-part harmony, and I haven't figured out how to do 4-part harmony yet by myself. So let's see. The song is called Living Planet, and it is a song by Jay Mankita, and I don't have a video of it, but I will put the words into the chat.
Are peaceful now and forevermore. Peaceful at the surface and peaceful at the core. Then all the joy within my heart would be so free. circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If all the world knew justice now and forevermore, justice at the surface and justice at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If all the world knew freedom now and forevermore, freedom at the surface and freedom at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If Mother Earth were honored now and forevermore, honored at the surface and honored at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we've gone too far. And we can heal this planet by changing the way we are. Time to